Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Games brought to you by ThinkGeek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 347. Still Got Games, the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And joining us later from the news desk will be Tiffany Electrify Nolan. What is going on, Joel Dude I Rock Albert?
Not much, just trying to live the dream day by day, week by week.
It's lofty goals.
It's a lofty goal. Got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, but we are back. We did take a week off due to some technical difficulties. Our super producer and A++ Pro i6 Hitman ran into a few issues last week, so we ended up scrapping the show. But we definitely need to have one tonight because we are off next week for Halloween because people will be trick-or-treating and coming to houses, and that's never conducive to doing a live show.
No.
But we are here tonight. We're off next week, and then we'll be back the week after. It is what it is. Hopefully we'll get our schedule squared away sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
But we love you guys, and we're doing our best to get some shows out there for you. So I guess on that, why don't we just hop right in the show proper? If you want to leave us feedback, you want to send us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. And speaking of voicemails, some of you have left some voicemails because we made a mail server change, and we completely lost all of our voicemails that were coming in. And I realized this 3 or 4 months after that I was like, what the fuck? Nobody wants to leave us voicemails anymore. Well, sure enough, lots of you left us voicemails, and a lot of them don't make sense anymore, but I did get to check them all out now, and there was plenty of them. So thank you all for your voicemails. And I promise you, if you take the time now to leave us a voicemail at 773-527-2961, we will try to get your calls back on the show because now they are coming in and we are seeing them. And it is not like all of a sudden we lost all of our audience and all hell broke loose. So we're back. We can do voicemails. So please leave us them and we'll handle your feedback that way. All right. Darn dark comments. Good to hear. I'm dying here. Hang on. Sorry, we're all fighting that early fall sickness here. So, all right. Darn dark comments. Good to hear that you will all be getting back on the regular show schedule again. I was starting to get the shakes and other withdrawal symptoms. Well,
psych.
You spoke too soon, darn dark. We did say we were going to do that, but we didn't actually do that yet. But it's coming.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can work through your shakes and you'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, after I think once it's these months are just as bad, right? Because we got like
Thanksgiving,
Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to be on
Christmas
vacation in November for 2 weeks, and so there's going to be some lulls, no matter what. But that's the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to life and the holidays, especially in the next 3 months. So we'll see.
If we know things are going to be bad, sometimes
We'll tell
Tiff will step up and she'll do a show if I can beg and convince her to. Those shows usually end up being shorter. She doesn't like to do as much talking, but she does take one for the team. So, but we will do our best to keep our shows coming fast and furious and delicious. All right, Surge comments. You should do a live show down here in Phoenix. We have a couple of venues that would be perfect for a live show, and they all serve alcohol.
Sure. Derek and I both like to fly first class. So when you set up the show in the venue, just remember first class. Also, I prefer a room with 2 king-size beds. So as soon as you get that all done, let us know. Call our publicist, and we'll get that sorted out for you.
I prefer the alcohol.
Right. All Derek needs, he doesn't even need a room. He just needs the alcohol. Then he's fine to find a room anywhere. Yeah. An alleyway. It doesn't matter. An elevator, stairwell. Good to go.
This was a good comment, though, Serge. And I got one question. Well, I guess this question brings up a lot of my reverse questions to you, Serge. So the fact that we've never done a live show, what spurred you to think that we should do one down in Phoenix, except for the fact that maybe you're obviously there and you've obviously scoped some venues because you think there's some that are perfect, and you made it a point to say that they all serve alcohol. So is that for us, or is that because our audience needs to be drinking and to be entertained?
Yeah,
but
both, frankly. But I think I'm assuming that's primarily for us, which would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. But we'll do our best, Serge. If you can set something up, we'll come down. We'll do a show. We'd love to.
Show.
We love doing shows. So.
Yeah, I love doing shows. Yeah, especially I think a live show would be super cool. I mean, I've always wanted to do live shows. Back in the day, it was like not. I mean, I can try to remember who was there. Before Derek took over the podcast, we did a live show in a bar down the street by me. And we got like 20 or so people show up. It was a lot of fun. We used it as a way to like come play video games. And then we'll also do a show, and we did a really short one because I don't think that works really well to do like a whole live show. Like an hour is like too much of people's time. But it's cool to do like a small half-hour show and then do like, drinking and playing video games. That's always a good time. So, yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, and last but not least, my mom's sofa. Oh. My mom's
sofa.
This is written in like the worst camel case ever, with every other letter being capitalized. But I think it's my mom's sofa comments. Damn, your shit tight.
It's awesome. Shit is tight, isn't it?
No, it's not. Is tight. Your shit tight.
Well, I'm trying to help him out here a little bit. It'd be better if it was yo shit it tight, but we can't all get what we want.
Our shit is tight.
Yeah, shit's tight. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Yeah. Yep. We try to keep it tight. When it loosens up, we tighten it up.
Tighten it back up. Just
all that happens.
Crank it back up.
Constantly tightening it up. Yep. That's what we do.
Yep. So we try to keep it tight.
Very factual comment. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you, my mom's sofa, for the kind words. And unfortunately, you do not get the record for the shortest comment ever. We've had shorter, but
we have had shorter.
That is short and concise and to the point. So thank you very much.
I like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, if any of you have awesome feedback like these fine folks, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what have you been playing this week?
Man, did I raid something fierce this week. I did, I think, 5 Destiny raids this week and a Warcraft raid and Overwatch. This is probably the most gaming week I've had in like the last 6 years of my life. My wife was out of town. So I just went ham. I mean, I was like pants off all day. I don't think I ever wore a pair of pants for more than like an hour when I got home. And just sat around in my box and played video games all day. It was fantastic. Nice. Yeah. Well done. So I did a lot of that. I did a lot of the raiding in the new Destiny. I have to say it's very, very short, but it is everything. I think every raid boss is pretty quality overall. I think it's fun. It's a good condensed raid, but good encounters, good level of difficulty. I think they did a really good job considering the team that they have even working on the game now. So
yeah, because most of the team's working on Destiny too. So
I mean, that's basically the live team, which is really impressive. So yeah, I think everyone is having a good time in there. Still doing Overwatch competitive as much as I possibly can. Maybe one of these days I'll actually stream that too. And that's about it. A little bit of Warcraft just because I paid for it, so I'm doing that for a little bit. And Karazhan's coming out tomorrow, and I'm a huge fan of that raid.
I'm a huge Karazhan fan.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for that, see how that works out, and then we'll see after that. But yeah, mostly Destiny. What about you?
Nice. Well, for me, it's been Destiny, obviously. Love the raid also, and been grinding up levels. And other than that, my mobile game of choice still Pokemon Go.
Still, there's like an update today. I looked at it and was like, I don't even care.
Yeah, there's some. They're constantly making changes. They're making it better, and eventually that trading is going to come in, and the new tracker and all this stuff is coming down the pike. And then the Watch app will be the killer app for it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. I am kind of stoked for the the Watch app part. I'm finally getting my Watch tomorrow.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely if you're a Pokemon fan, I don't think that app's ever going to go away. If you were a gamer that sort of got on with it when everybody else did, I can't think of a lot of like friends of mine that are still playing it. Not really any that come to mind. But if you're a Pokemon fan, it's like, are you still doing it? You are? Oh wow.
So Hit's in. See, I wasn't never even a Pokemon fan. Like I actually
I know that's
did
why
not
to
like
me
any of the
it's,
other
like,
Pokemon
weird,
stuff.
right? Like, yeah.
But you gave me a game that involved collecting things, and I
Right.
could do it in my spare time when I'm driving. And not that you're gonna do it when I'm driving or anything, but I always click the button to say I'm not driving, which means I'm not driving.
Right. To the game, you're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's something to kill the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I actually would say it's not a it's still a good game. Like like even when you're just walking down the street, like I go to lunch every day and I always walk to lunch, and but I don't know, I still haven't. It's not even that I quit playing it because I hate it or anything. There's no reason. I just forgot it was on my your phone's got limited real estate. You know what I mean? Like there's so many apps on your phone, and after a while, I just didn't open it up anymore. So yeah,
You should start it back up.
I might. We'll see.
Excellent. All right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over to the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Titanfall 2. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This is Respawn Entertainment's sequel to their 2014 hit Titanfall. They've addressed almost every single issue that people had with the original game, which is all you can hope that a developer can do. Because people had issues with there being no single-player campaign. People had issues with certain parts of gameplay, other stuff. They've taken all that in. So now Titanfall 2 boasts a robust single-player campaign. Multiplayer has received a bunch of updates, including new game mechanics, new abilities, the grappling hook, new titans, including even a titan that wields a fucking sword. So they've gone yeoman's duty on fixing things up. The game looks amazing. Our pre-order's in. We'll have it on Friday, but I'm psyched for this. I played the shit out of the first Titanfall. I unlocked all the achievements for it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
I'm on the other end of that spectrum. I played Titanfall. I got it out of the sort of peer pressure when I first bought it. But the good news was that when I did buy the original Titanfall, even though I didn't want to play it, I thought it was a great game. I played it for as long as I could until I kind of got bored. This Titanfall, though, I must say, like the demo is definitely. I know that they've changed things since the demo. They got a lot of flack with how things were playing, the speed of the game, and things like that. They actually took a lot of that to heart. They fixed a lot of those issues. If you're ever a part of like the Reddit subreddit for Titanfall 2, you will remember it was complete fucking chaos, and everyone said it was the worst game ever made, and people lost their shit. The developers pretty much came in and really said, hey, we're listening, we're gonna fix it, blah 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 blah. So Respawn's been pretty adamant about making sure that they deliver a great Titanfall 2 experience, which I think is great. I'm going to have to sit back and wait, though. I think because I have Destiny, I have other games I'm playing, there isn't a lot of impetus to go out there and take a chance. And I'm sort of beyond that now with games where I just spend the $60 and then cross my fingers. I'm going to wait a little while, but it's been getting great reviews. So it's been, they've clearly made changes because a lot of journalists, again, through the demo, didn't like the game. So they've made the changes, it seems like. But yeah, I don't know if it really is my Titanfall anymore. It's certainly going in a different sort of style of play.
Yeah. Well,
but it looks good.
I think
the
part
graphics
of
are
it-
shit, though. Can we agree that the graphics are real bad?
I don't think they're that bad.
They're really bad, dude. They're
No.
to me, like that engine is so bad that it's just like you compare that with like Battlefield 1. Or
Okay,
even
yeah,
Destiny, which is like an old game now. I don't even see a level of parity between those two, which I think is a little weird this far along in the cycle. I think it's a pretty shit looking game, but that doesn't matter to me. I will say, like, that's not. I'm just surprised by that, but it doesn't matter.
I think some of the things that you find annoying about the game now, I think were complaints that people had about the original game where
They were.
it was not accessible to new people because everything went so fucking fast. And
Yes.
someone could leave one side of a map and chain together a bunch of fucking jumps and boosts and then wall running and they could be on your side of the map in seconds.
Yeah.
And I think that now there's more methods of traversing, whether it's zip lines or it's the grappling hook or all this other stuff. But I think they did take a little off the speed from that to make it more accessible to new people. And
Yeah, and I think and I think you're right. I think that's what kind of coming from a Quake background and coming from those backgrounds are really Twitch style.
UT?
games where you could literally fly around the map in a matter of seconds and shoot in a matter of milliseconds.
Yeah.
Dumbing the game down and slowing it down to a more Halo style, it doesn't really appeal to me.
for Halo.
But it works for some people. I mean, it's a style of gameplay people enjoy. And like I said, I think I really did like the original Titanfall more than I thought I was going to. And so because of that, I never became like a fan because I never bought it with that impetus of like being super psyched. So it could end up being a great game. I just don't think it's going to be a right away. In fact, when I saw this, I didn't even know Titanfall was coming out this week. I was like, oh, Titanfall's coming out? Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Friday.
Wow.
I'm excited to see what they did with the single player campaign too, because that's of all the criticism you can get, you made a multiplayer only game. It was cool, but we're missing. People want a campaign. Some people never do multiplayer. They just buy these games and they pay the $60 for their, 6 to 10 hours of campaign. And see how they deliver. And I watched the trailer for the campaign and it looked pretty fucking baller. So
yeah, review wise, the campaign's actually getting a lot of praise. Again, like for me, I could give two shit. For me, it was always that Titanfall was way too expensive for a multiplayer only game. But if they would have come out this year and been like, hey, we're going to give you for $40 and there's still no campaign, I'd be like, yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. Because I'm just not a campaign. Like same with Battlefield 1. There's been great reviews about Battlefield 1's campaign, but I just don't care. I mean, it doesn't do anything for me. But yeah. Go out there and get it if you're into it.
Yep. All right. Next new release out this week is also a multiplayer game, and it's Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the special edition. This is out for Xbox One, PS4, and the PC. This is a remaster of Bethesda's 2011 smash fucking hit Skyrim on the last-gen consoles. It includes all 3 expansions to the original game. This time around, it also has full mod support that comes to both consoles in addition to the PC, although mod space for the PS4 is limited to 1 gigabyte, while the Xbox One supports 5 gigabytes of mods. The remaster looks absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls high nines like the original did, because some people put hundreds of hours in this game. It's definitely one of the sweet spots in the Elder Scrolls series, and it's nice to bring it to this gen of consoles, because some people are just coming into their own in this gen, and they didn't have last gen. So I think it's a great idea. I know some different remasters we have different opinions on. Like we're never consistent. We're like, fuck remaster. We're like, oh yeah, this one needed a remaster. So I think this is one that probably did need a remaster. It came out right near the tail end of the console cycle last time, and I think this was a good time for it. Kind of like last week, there was the Batman Arkham. We didn't do a show, but the Batman Arkham collection that they remastered those games from the 3 shitty and the PS3 up to this gen. They needed that same sort of thing because those games are fantastic, but they came out at least some of them came out near the end of the console life cycle and people didn't play them. So
I totally agree. Like God of War is another great example. When they did that remaster, I thought that was amazing for people that are like just getting into PS4 and things like that.
Yep.
I think there's a time and a space for it. And Elder Scrolls is such a popular game that generally speaking, when a game is that widely known and so many people, even after years, are still playing the original, it makes a hell of a lot of sense to say like, hey, you used to have to play this on your 3 shitty. Now you can just get rid of it and get this new one. Maybe even give you a reason to buy a system if you haven't already, and actually play it on a new system fully remastered. So it makes a lot of sense for them to make, I think, especially for Skyrim. So yeah, I mean, and it's something where I played Skyrim for like 20 minutes and realized immediately it wasn't for me, because again, it's not multiplayer the way I want it to be. But it's still a great game. Like you can see the value in it almost immediately when you play the game.
Oh yeah, no, it's not my style either. Like if I'm going to play some kind of MMOE type or RPG type of game, I want it to be an MMO RPG. I don't want it to be a SP RPG. But,
yeah, like the first I ever got was Witcher, which again, gorgeous game, so well done. And I got probably 6 hours into that until I gave up. And again, not because it was a bad game; it's an amazing game. But I get bored.
You
with
need human contact,
yeah. It's not why I play games. So, but yeah, no. I mean, this is an awesome release. I think if you already have an Xbox One, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you've never stepped into the Skyrim universe before, it's a great game. Everyone always says great things about it. You know, all of the bugs and weird things that happened back in the day are pretty much all patched up, and now you get a fully remastered version. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yep. Win-win.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the last new release out this week actually came out last week, but I kept it in here anyway because it was it's big, not for me, but for lots of the world. Is Civilization 6. This is the latest installment of Sid Meier's ultra-popular turn-based strategy Civilization series. In addition to taking on gameplay enhancements introducing by the Civ 5 expansions, terrain plays a big part in the game now, both in city development and also in your tech tree. The revamped tech tree is now dependent on the terrain near you, So, like for example, like you can't build up your sailing skills if you're currently in a landlocked location. So it actually makes a lot more sense that way. They also introduced what they call Eureka moments that will jump your progress toward a specific tech skill based on completing in-game tasks. So, like maybe it's you all of a sudden you strike oil, and then all of a sudden that ends up building up to something else that like speeds you through the tech tree in that area. So at the time there were no early review scores out for this yet, and I wrote, I'm sure it will crush, but now the review scores are out and it is crushing. So these games can do no wrong, and unfortunately they're not my type of games. But like you look on the internet and people love these things. I think the last Civilization game I played was Civ 2, maybe. When's the last time you played
3? Civ 3 was the last.
Actually, no, I did play Civ 3. Yep.
I used to be addicted to Civilization. Yeah. So, but that's so sad. Like a lot of these games I don't play anymore. Why do we fall out of these things? Because I used to love them too. It's because like when multiplayer came around, it was such a big thing when like really true multiplayer came around, and the competitiveness in me, was able to sort of be siphoned out when it came to those games. And I never found my way back to a game that was literally just there for you to like have fun, play. Like, was it Good and Evil, Black and White?
Yep.
Yeah, it was like an amazing game back in those days. Like those types of games were really the games that I played a lot of, tons of. But I think as like time went on and you build a community like we did, which is kind of partial to it as well. It's kind of hard to play alone nowadays. It doesn't have the same feel. There's still amazing games, and there's a generation of gamers now that are coming into it that love those types of games. So it doesn't surprise me. And Civ has always been just if you want to like lose yourself Civ is a game that you turn on, you say you're only going to play an hour. It's Monday. You wake up at Friday. You have no job anymore. And you're barely even aware of the reality around you because you've been playing it for so long. So it has that potential of just a soul sucking game. It's like that. So.
I can't count the number of times I saw people playing Civ 5 on airplanes. Like that just seemed to be like the go-to. Like you look down the aisle and there's people on laptops playing. It's one of those perfect like time capsule games where
absolutely.
Yeah. So good on Sid Meier. Just keeps cranking these things out, and good stuff. All right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? What is going on, Tiff?
Hi guys. Not much.
Hola.
Hola. Look at us having a show this week. This is so crazy. But no show next week, right?
No show next week.
We're on the stagger schedule here during the holiday season. But yes. But I think maybe after Halloween, we might have 2 weeks in a row.
I doubt it.
Possibly.
It's possible because then that third week I'm off.
And then your third week you're off, and then there's the Thanksgiving week.
And there's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to get 2 in a row for you guys right after Halloween. So
when was the last time there was 2 in a row?
It was 3 shows ago.
Yeah.
That's when we said that we proved that we were fixed. And then we weren't fixed.
No, it's supposed to take 3 to prove that we're fixed.
Okay.
Oh, 3?
We should set the bar higher then.
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't we just hop into the meat of this then, Tiff, and we'll go with first story.
Nintendo reveals new hybrid console, the Nintendo Switch. And this comes from IB Times. Nintendo has formally announced the Nintendo Switch, its new piece of dedicated gaming hardware set for release in March of 2017. As had been reported earlier this year, the device previously known by its codename NX will be capable of both home and portable gaming. The Switch was announced with a 3.5-minute trailer revealing the basic concept of the console and promising much more information. The trailer also teased a few NX titles, including a new Mario platformer and seemingly Wii U titles, including Splatoon. The device is a handheld screen with 2 controllers on either side that can be slotted in and out to create the handheld, or a controller for use when the screen portion is put into a docking station, which is then connected to a TV. Mario Kart 8, Skyrim Special Edition, and NBA 2K17 also appeared alongside the new Mario title and Splatoon. A fully formed controller similar to the Pro Controller for the Wii U is also seen. So what do you guys think about this? Are you excited for this? You're like, I watched the trailer. I was like, I didn't really know what was happening. But, I mean, some parts of it look cool, but other parts I was like, I'm
cautiously optimistic about some parts of this. Like, it I still wish, first and foremost, Nintendo would just get out of the hardware business and start licensing out their IPs. They're not going to do that because they're a Japanese company. They cannot admit failure, and they'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. We'll do it right this time. We'll do it right this time. And for a long time, they did do it right in the handheld space. But the thing that bugs me about this is, I'm just going to go to my first pet peeve, and then we'll have Jay do some talking here. But when they take out the sides of the controller, it's one thing to slide off the sides off the screen and you put those on the controller holder and use it as a controller. But when they show full-grown adults taking those things and turning it sideways and using like this little fucking microscopic controller to play, and they're acting like it's cool, like that part, that's where you lose me. You've lost realism at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Yeah, I would agree. I think like that as a downside, you're totally right. I mean, I think that's but I will say this, and this is the one thing about Nintendo I give them credit for. It's really rare for a company like Nintendo or any gaming system like that to completely ditch a previous system and realize like it's over, like they did with the Wii U. I give them credit that like Wii U is not that old, and they literally basically said like no one wants a Wii U anymore. We better get our asses working on something new. They consolidated their mobile team into their console team, which should have been an indicator for most people that this is what was going to happen when they did that years ago. Most people I think knew that this was going to happen. I mean, I don't think people were shocked when this happened. Everyone's like, yeah, that's kind of what we figured since they merged those teams together years ago. I still am absolutely going to buy this the day it comes out. And the reason for that is really just that if you look at, in the previews and everything, in terms of the games that they already are at least hinting at having ready as in like launch, I'm assuming, they're all great games. And like Derek said, Nintendo makes great games, and I wish they would release the IPs to other people, but it's not going to happen. But they have amazing games coming on that platform. And regardless of the portability, I do think that's like a bit of a gimmick. They still have really good games in their platform. I'm not as like swayed by the people that say, will they have third-party support? Obviously, they've shown that they're going to have third-party support, but that also doesn't matter to me at all. I get my third-party support on my PS4 and my Xbox One and my PC. That's where I play those types of games. Yeah. But again, I don't think a Nintendo console is that at all. I don't think you buy it for that reason. It's not why you're in that universe. So a lot of the hate from that side of it is a little like, I don't get it. That's not what you're buying when you buy a system. I also, with the power thing, don't feel like that's a bit, people are like, it's not going to be 4K gaming like my Scorpion or whatever, Scorpio or the fucking thing is. There's, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't, that's not why you buy it. You're not going to do 4K Splatoon. That's not the thing that's going to happen. It's
Nintendo does this every year. It's the same reason why when the Xbox 3 shitty and the PS3 were coming out and the Wii came out and it was graphically a piece of shit compared to them, but it had its gimmicky thing, and you knew it was going to have those first party titles. And I'm actually kind of excited for the couch play option of this thing, not the portability. As long as you can have a bunch of real controllers on your couch, because I can't see myself using. I don't either. The two halves stuck together on like a little stub in the middle or whatever. Yeah. I want real controllers, and I want it to be more than one person or more than two people. I should be at least four people. But
I would agree with that. I think the real questions that are going to be hopefully answered in the months to come. Which first I want to say March is the release date, and we're really not that far away. And so a 3-minute video was like surprising to me. It's like you guys don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, but they have to because they've missed every game show. There's no shows for them to show this at. Literally, the announcement comes past the game show season
on a YouTube channel via Twitter. Yeah. It's like it's a very unfanfare way of announcing a system. But again, I give them credit because the Nintendo people are so feverish that this news spread without much effort from them, other than releasing like, hey, tomorrow we're going to have a tweet that's going to talk about NX. And do a reveal, and it seemed to spread really quickly, around the world. It was a big deal. But the questions that they really need to answer are, which I think are important, is how much battery life does that thing really have? How portable is it?
Yep.
While it's portable, how do I hook it up to a network? Is it really just going to be Wi-Fi? Because they show the guy in the park, and it's like, well, how is he playing in the park?
They showed that the basketball player guys were playing. They had two of them connected back to back,
right?
Each of them with two people on the mini controllers to play 2v2. But yeah, how does all that work? What additional stuff what comes with it? What doesn't? What's the cost?
What's the cost? Yeah, what's the cost? I mean, I think a lot of people I've heard are hinting at within the 300 range. I think it should definitely try to stick there. I think once they go into the 500, it's like,
you're including a tablet with it too.
I know.
That's the tough part. Now
and I think that's really going to depend on the power. And that's what, like, a lot of people are saying that in order to keep it, within the 350 range, it's got to have pretty low power. And I'm not talking about battery right now, but I'm talking about the actual power of the system resolution. How well that's going to run is a big deal too. A lot of people are saying that they were hoping that the docking system was a boost to CPU and RAM when you docked it. And from what I'm hearing now, that's probably not the case. And if that's true, I'm not so sure it's going to be, at least in my mind, worth $500 if that's the price point that they come out with. So there are a lot of things with this system that I think could potentially harm it greatly depending on that price point. And again, if the battery life isn't really good, which I feel like is a really hard thing to do, it kind of blows the whole reason that you'd be buying this as a mobile device. If I have a Game Boy, I want that thing to last 18 hours, 20 hours. And be able to take it with me everywhere I go. If it's like a 3-hour, 4-hour scenario, the value is definitely greatly diminished on a system like this. But in terms of like what they've come up with, and again, I think most people knew it was going to be like this. I think they did an amazing job, certainly in terms of my level of hype for what I thought I was going to be with NX versus, now after watching it. I think a lot of people are really excited about the system. And that for Nintendo, considering where they're at now, is a big deal. I think it's mostly positive if you look around the internet, and that's something that I don't think you could say about the Wii U. So yeah, man, I'm pretty fucking stoked. I am really stoked, actually. Zelda is all I can say. Zelda.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this all pans out over the next few months.
Definitely.
All right, next story.
Original PS3 owners can file claims in the Other OS lawsuit, and this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. After more than 6 years, Sony agreed to pay out millions to settle the class action lawsuit surrounding its removal of the Install Other OS feature from the PS3 in 2010. Now owners of the original version of that console can file claims. A settlement notice sent out this week states that PS3 FAT owners who made the purchase between November 1st, 2006 and April 1st, 2010 are eligible to do so. Original PS3 owners who can submit proof of purchase and proof that they actually used the feature that allowed Linux to be installed on a partition of the console's hard drive are entitled to a $55 payment. If you can submit only proof of purchase and say that you intended to use the tool, you'll receive a whopping $9. Proof that you installed Linux can be submitted in the form of a screenshot photo or documentation of communication between you and Sony or a third party. The installation would have had to be done before April 1st, 2010. The deadline to submit a claim is December 7th. A hearing where the court will decide whether or not to approve the settlement is scheduled for January 24th, 2017. If approved, payments will be sent out about 40 days after. I originally saw that as 40 years later. I'm not sure why. It seems about the same. The Other OS suit was filed in 2010 after Sony pushed a mandatory software update to the PS3. That download forced users to nix the ability to install Linux or lose the ability to play online. The company said at the same time that security concerns were the reason for the change. Note that the PS3 Slim model that debuted in 2009 isn't included in the litigation, even though it debuted during the aforementioned timeframe. The Slim never had the Linux features, so that's why owners of that console aren't eligible to file a claim as part of this class action. That was a hell of a lot to read. So what do you guys think of this?
You may have read a lot, but the discussion on this is fairly short.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say,
I submitted for my $9. I never.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I never used the feature, but I had the Fat Boy PS3, and I want my $9.
Wow, you feel like you were?
I was disenfranchised.
You were disenfranchised. Yeah. Yes. It was hard to sleep at night, and things.
Well,
the level of trust you have in the brand is diminished. Did you need $9? Yeah.
This is more of I like that Sony has to take it on the ass for this, because this was not about security at all. This was people were using the install other OS feature to sideload shit onto the PS3 and pirate software. It had nothing to do with security at all. And they got rid of it willy-nilly because they're like, we don't know how to fix this. Let's just get rid of it. And that's what they did. And some people were actually using this. Like, if you remember back, like the SETI at home and all those things were all based on running other OSs on your PlayStation and helping better humanity. So the fact that they pulled this away, some people were really burned by this, and they deserve their $45. You know, it wasn't for me, but I like, just shoving in the face of Sony.
No, I do agree with you. I think like with a situation like this, the majority of the people probably that are going to be reporting that they had an intention to use it probably didn't. But yeah, it was a shitty thing to do, because I think a lot of people at that time, when they heard, I shouldn't say a lot, I think it was a small niche of people, but certainly because it became like an affordable PC at the cost that it was in comparison to building your own, it did make a lot of sense for you to go out and buy a relatively inexpensive fat boy, put Linux on it and use it as a machine in your household, whether it was to run SETI or whatever. It was basically like a desktop device that you could have hooked up to your big screen monitor that a lot of people really enjoyed. And to take that away when features get removed, it can't be done without consequence. I mean, you cannot market something and say, yes, it has this ability, and then later just remove it completely. So yeah, it is like a kind of a no-brainer deal. It's nice that they finally did it. I don't suspect that they will ever do this again. It's one of those things where even when it came out back then, everyone was like, why would you even offer that? Yes, that is a bad idea. And it was a bad idea. So it doesn't really surprise me. But yeah, I mean, you can't make features and then remove them. It's just not the way things work. So no brainer. Get like your $9. There you go.
Yep. All right. Next story.
Xbox exec celebrates Xbox One win streak, and this comes from GameSpot. Microsoft's Xbox One outsold Sony's PlayStation 4 in the United States in September, marking the third straight month that Microsoft's console came out on top. The Xbox One has outsold the PS4 in the past, but this is the first time this generation that the console claimed the number one spot for 3 months in a row. Xbox marketing executive Aaron Greenberg is thrilled about the news, sending off a few messages this week on Twitter about Microsoft's latest win. So grateful to everyone who helped us get it back on top, he said in one tweet, using the hashtag, "Don't call it a comeback." Sorry, that was really hard to read. In another tweet, Greenberg used only hashtags, #momentum, #Xbox One S. Microsoft's latest win in September is particularly notable since that's the month when Sony launched its slimmed-down PlayStation 4 Slim model. That system, like the Xbox One S that launched in August, starts at $300. Though the Xbox One is on a win streak, it's still likely that the PS4 is the leader in the worldwide cumulative sales race. Sony's system has sold more than 40 million units worldwide as of May, with sales projected to reach 60 million by April 2017. Microsoft does not share Xbox One sales figures, but Xbox boss Phil Spencer said in October 2015 that Sony's lead was so large that he was unsure if the Xbox One could ever catch up. Given the new momentum around the Xbox brand, it remains to be seen if Spencer still feels that way. Sony will launch a new console, the PS4 Pro, in November, while Microsoft's Project Scorpio system lands in holiday 2017. Microsoft believes its system is the most powerful console ever made, and as such, its performance advantage over the PS4 Pro will be obvious.
So this is almost like, I think, gloating too quickly. And the only reason I say that is like within these weeks since this story has come out, the VR stuff has come out for Sony, and they are like selling like fucking mad. They can't even keep them in stock.
The VR stuff is selling, but they're not selling new consoles.
They are like, so they're saying that there's and this is, I think, an obvious thing. There's a huge bump in sales for the system because, again, if you're a fan of VR and you've sort of been sitting on the ropes waiting to see where things land, and you haven't bought a console yet, it is a total value add buy right now to buy a cheap Sony PS4 along with your bundle and make sure you get VR. And so it will be interesting to see how this quarter plays out totally when it comes to like how many systems that the PS4 sold because of their VR stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a huge win, and of course, I prefer my Xbox One to my PS4 for just a number of reasons. But I do think like gloating now in comparison to sort of like, you know, this gloating piece sort of came before VR was released. Yep. And now that that's happened, I would be really interested to see how that lead has diminished or whether it's maybe stayed the same. Maybe they are still selling more systems. I would probably think they wouldn't be. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Because if someone's out there looking for 4K gaming and 4K video and 4K Blu-rays, the Xbox One is where it's at. And Sony's already 4K come.
Gaming. I mean, we still got time there. And so just for the streaming, it's
no, you got Gears already now. Gears is the first one.
What do you mean?
Gears takes full advantage of the Xbox One S 4K stuff, right?
No, it is not 4K gaming.
No, it's up-res to 4K and it uses the HDR stuff. Yes.
No.
It's the first one. Yeah.
No. There's zero 4K gaming even up-resed on any S. It is not a fact, and I don't want people listening to think it is because it's not.
If it's not out of the gate, it's coming, and it's coming to Gears. It's coming to Gears and the first-party titles.
But only when the Scorpio or whatever gets released.
No. The Scorpio is going to have all 4K gaming. That's no doubt. But yes, but as far as what they're bringing with the Pro has even less 4K stuff. Theirs is like this will be.
But neither of those are out yet. It's a moot point. I mean, like right now, if you're buying a system and you want VR and you want a console and you've bought neither, your only option is a PS4. Period. And the only other thing on the market right now that is semi-competing in terms of advantages is 4K streaming, which I've said in the past. Like, I think it's nice that the S does 4K streaming. I think that's cool.
But 4K
so does
Blu-rays too.
So does the TV that I purchased out of the box anyway. So it's kind of like
play 4K Blu-rays.
No, but I don't. I mean, you have to specifically be into that market as well.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're buying a 4K TV, I mean, I'm just saying, out of the box, I get Netflix, I get Amazon, I get Hulu, 4K ready apps built into the TV. It's not like if you haven't bought a system at all and you have a 4K TV, there's really no reason to buy a PS4. I mean, I would say that's probably not even an arguable statement. But if you want VR, you have like no choice. I mean, you literally are going to
either going to PC
or $4,000 on a PC, or you're going to spend, well, I don't even know what a new PS4 is. Although it's relatively inexpensive.
Actually, have you looked at some of the new VR ready PCs that are using the new NVIDIA chips? Because you can go $600.
Cheaper. Yeah,
$600 gets you a VR ready, like decent VR ready PC using the new NVIDIA stuff. So now it's a desktop,
and you got to spend $800 on the VR. So there's that.
It is what it is. But $600 is a lot less than 4 months ago. It would cost you $1,500.
Yeah. For it to work. I mean, that's the important
for the bottom
part
line.
Is like the bottom line, right? And trust me, there's a big difference in VR when it comes to computing power. There's a big difference. So yeah, I mean that's true. But again, a Sony PS4 with a Sony VR is pennies to the dollar in comparison. And specifically, again, in the console market, which I think is an important factor, a lot of people, just because of that, what it is, don't want to buy a desktop specifically to game on. They want to sit on their couch. They want to pick, in between which brand that they want, which systems they're going to, hold their allegiance to. So I don't know. I just think the gloating is great, and it's great that the idea of streaming the 4K worked out for them, that they found a consumer base that wanted to buy it. I just would be interested to see how that all plays out once these numbers come back for what Sony's been doing for their VR piece. Because I mean, it's sold. It's unbelievable. It's sold.
Oh yeah, it's sold out everywhere.
It's sold out everywhere. Can't get one. It's crazy. Anyway,
we'll have to see what the tail of the tape.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next story.
We are on to this week's What the Fuck story. Overwatch player makes banana controller for Winston, and this comes from Kotaku. Overwatch is no stranger to gimmick controllers. People have used flight sticks for D.Va and turntables for Lucio, This Winston controller, though, is completely bananas. Rudism, who you might remember from previous over-the-top controller setups, has finally gone too far. He's created a controller not from plastic or metal, but from organic material. And also, wires and stuff. He explained how I made it in a post on Reddit. I'm using a makey to hook up all these bananas. I attach an earthing cable to myself, and when I touch a banana, it sends a keyboard input to the game via body. Help me out with that one. Capacitance. The 4 leftmost bananas handle WASD. The 4 rightmost ones handle aiming, and the 3 in the center are for QE and shift. I ended up having to hardwire left click, so it was always on. I didn't have enough hands to fire as well as aim move at the same time. He added that he originally tried to make it with peanut butter, Winston's favorite food, but despite being perfect in every other way, peanut butter is not a great conductor of electricity. I'm not even sure how you guys are going to comment on this. This is just weird.
Did you watch the video?
I did. Yes.
It's so good. I mean, it's so after a while, because he's like playing so long and it's hot in his room, like the bananas are just turning to like mush.
Yeah, he's not tapping them gently. No,
he's trying to grab them, and he's playing a relatively easy character. So it's not that big of a deal. And at one part, he just like decides to only use the weapon, and he turns it on just by taking the banana and plugging it directly in the capacitor, so that he always is firing because he's having so much trouble. But this is like the kind of thing when you're watching a stream that I think is like fucking brilliant and super engaging to the community, because everyone's sort of watching and they're like, try this and like use these bananas and blah, blah, blah. And the guy is great because he really is the entire time this is all going on, which is not easy to do, control a character with bananas. He's talking to the community, talking at the camera, fixing this insanity on his desktop. The whole, like, his things are not, working perfectly. But he's definitely like taking it in good spirits, and he's doing what he gets kills. Like he gets kills.
No, it's
pretty fabulous.
It's impressive, but it's still, if you rewind back, what takes you to that mindset that becomes the thing you're going to do, though? That's like, would you ever make that jump?
I don't know. No, absolutely not. And again, it's because of who he's playing. He's playing Winston, which is, again, it's a giant gorilla if you haven't played Overwatch. Yeah. In fact, in the beginning, if you watch, he tried to, because Winston loves peanut butter within the Overwatch context. So originally he tried to use peanut butter to control Winston and sticking his hands and fingers in peanut butter jars. But it's not as conductive as a banana is, so you couldn't get it to always trigger. But I just think that's great. I mean, you're kind of taking the theme of the character. People have always done these crazy things with controls, and he's using that in the game to specifically control a unique character in the universe. And it's good. It's what gaming's all about in a really fucked up way.
Yes, agreed.
Derek, what do you think about that story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over the mailbag and voicemails? Altius asks, what are your thoughts on Modern Warfare Remastered and the need to have the Infinite Warfare disc in your console to play? Is this a clever way that Activision is starting to drive people to their digital versions instead?
It's a great question, because this has come up a million times, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are saying. Look, they're obviously doing Remastered so that you buy their new game. They want to get people that were into old Modern Warfare back into that universe to hopefully buy more games in the future and buy this game now. Yeah. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. If you're a super fan of Modern Warfare and you really, and again, this is like the Call of Duty for me, for everyone else I know. Yeah. So it's kind of like a no-brainer, which I said probably like 8 times tonight, but it really is. I mean, it's like, if you're into that type of game, you pay the price by having to get the new one. Am I interested in the new Modern Warfare? No. I don't give a shit about it. I don't care that it's basically Halo. None of that stuff interests me at all. But who knows? If I buy the remastered and I play it, could be good.
But see, the thing is, though, like, maybe someone was willing to go out and buy Infinite Warfare just to get the remastered, and then they would sell back the Infinite Warfare to GameStop for take the $10 loss, and now they've paid $10 for the remaster. But you can't do that. But what they're doing now is they're pushing you, and they're saying, okay, so you're the kind of guy that wants to get rid of your games. Well, fuck you, because you need to keep that around to play the other game. Whereas if you bought it digitally, now you're stuck with the new game, but you can also play the other game without having to put any discs in or whatever. And I don't know. And it's to their benefit for people to buy things digitally, because then there's no secondary market on those titles.
Yeah,
so
you instantly remove
everybody
that
that wants
from
to
being
play
ability.
has to buy the game from them. And it does. I didn't really even think of this as a thing until Altius's question, but it really does seem kind of nefarious, where they're giving, they're making it easier for you. Either way, you're screwed, and you have to spend the same money. So you might as well buy it digitally, and then you don't have to. If you want to play a different game, you have to go actually put in a different disc. So,
yeah, I mean, coming from people like Derek and I too, since we buy almost everything digitally anyway, it makes a lot of sense. I don't want to go through the hassle of getting the disc and making sure it's in my system every time I want to play the game. I don't want to have to forget that the disc is in the living room and then move it here to play another game that isn't even the game that's on the disc. I mean, that's just not my style anyway. I don't want to do that with a real disc of the game that I'm playing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take a disc from
the
here.
game I'm playing.
I'm too lazy. It's 15 feet into my living room from my office right now. I don't want to take a game out of there and bring it over there. It's too much work. I'll be sweating by the time I get over there. It's too much work. So, I mean, it's a no. I think the subject of this was always that you had to buy the game and had to have the game to buy the remastered. And again, I mean, like, that's the price you pay. The remastered version is as much of a marketing ploy as it is a remastered game that everyone knows and loves. They've clearly spent the time on it. Reviews have said it's amazingly done well. Like, everything about it feels like that Call of Duty, just up-res to the motherfucking nines and rebuilt from the ground up. You got to respect that. And then at the same time, you got to kind of say, like, look, they clearly know that they've been making this game for years, and they've lost a lot of Call of Duty fans. Makes a lot of sense that they're going to require that to be a part of it to get you back into that universe. Hopefully you like the new one. I am literally buying it just for the remaster. I am that guy. If given the ability to only spend $20 and just get that, I would do that. But I get why they don't want me to do that, so I'm paying the extra money. It is what it is. You want to play remastered, you got to buy the other game.
It's nefarious.
Nefarious and smart.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, good question, Altius. Thanks again. And if any of you have awesome questions like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@toolsplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread in the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, I support your sponsor. You help support Still Got Game. We had a couple sponsors, same ones every week. Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club. We'll keep it short. We'll keep it sweet. You like geeky stuff, you like cool stuff, Think Geek is your place. You probably already shop there anyway. So if you're going to go shop at Think Geek, go to toolplay.com/geek. It will take you to the Think Geek website, and you'll automatically get applied to you the best possible discount that Think Geek is offering at the time. So it's win for you, win for us, toolplay.com/geek. The Craft Beer Club, whether you're into a beer of the month type thing of craft beers or you're giving it as a gift, Craft Beer Club is the premier place to do this, and they have great prices, and they have some premier shit. They give you some pint glasses and other stuff when you get the subscription. You can do it for a month, 6 months, a year, whatever. They have all the options. So if you're going to do this anyway, instead of going there directly, go to toolplay.com/beer, and that will take you and give you their best deal currently running now. So it's win-win either way. So either toolplay.com/geek, toolplay.com/beer, and by visiting our sponsors, you help support the show here, and you help us out. So do it up and help us out. And if you want to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you what you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Toolplay related at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related is at twitter.com/still_gut_game. King of the fucking internet, out of everything that's fucking holy me at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me at twitter.com/dudeIrock.
Facebook.
And you can find
yay!
SWAT! I was ready this week.
I assumed you guys weren't ready. All right.
No, I was like, I unmuted, I was ready to go, and you just kept rolling.
All right, you got it, Tiff. Go.
I am at twitter.com/electrify.
And Hitman. Oh, see, that's why I assumed you were ready. The last time we did this, Hit fucked us like this. Hits at twitter.com/i6hitman. Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tooltoplay. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dudeIrock.
Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan.
Facebook.com/i6hitman. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool2play. That's the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, whether it's Tiff's fantabulous long-running show, Immature Interviews. Immature, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, she's giving me the head shake. Or it's the soon-to-come back this week on Friday with Titanfall for Hits Quick Hits, the crinkle, crinkle, crinkle action. Whatever it is that you like that we put out in video, we archive it all on our YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe, and you'll have our full back catalog of awesome shit. Also, please rate and review this podcast on iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. And if you are so inclined, you want to take the extra 5 seconds after you do the 5 stars, just write a little something nice about us. The show is awesome. I love it. Best show, highlight of my week. I listen to it in the car. These are all things that we get in our comments. So why, instead of just sending in the show, why not take the extra 5 seconds and put it in iTunes? Because every week, some number of you comment on the show. So if you could all just comment on iTunes at the same time, even just copy and paste your comment, it would mean so much to me. So please do that and help the show out. And we'd very much appreciate it. Also, we have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tool2play. That is where Tool to Play broadcasts our live video content, whether it's this show, whether it's gameplay, whether it's whatever. We also have a community that all broadcasts through there. So definitely twitch.tv/tool2play. Go there. It's got a little follow button. You can follow us. You'll be notified whenever we go live. You get all the information you need. Oh, Tool to Play's gone live with Still Got Game, episode 347 with Derek Nolan and at Dudai Rocker, whatever. You'll get notified when we go live. But there's also another button when you go to Twitch. It's the subscribe button. And that button, my friends, is really where you help us out. If you just click that button, it doesn't take much. You just click it, and it's going to be like, oh, you want to subscribe to Tool to Play. That is how you really help us out, because it costs you the smallest amount of money. It is less than, sometimes less than 1 cup of coffee, but definitely less than 2 cups of coffee per month. And by doing that, that puts money directly into our pockets. It's the way you support us. We keep producing this awesome content that is flawless in every single way. And we'll keep this coming to you month after month after month. All you have to do is go there and subscribe. So please do that. Help us out. It would mean a fuck ton to us. And before we finish up, I guess I want to remind you, you can join us each and every Monday night, except on Halloween, live, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tool2play. And on that, why don't we wrap this fucking stellar episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dudai Rock Albert.
I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan. No, see, this is where we don't do it.
And I'm
Oh my
Roger
gosh.
Broken, A.
Oh my god. Okay, you were supposed to put these in the notes.
That's true.
Society.
That's true.